today I'm going to go over three things: how to write an integral based on a graph, create a text box that moves along with my x value, and then a link to show and hide to both of them. So the first thing is, for my problem, I've already kind of pre-solved it. I want to find the value of g of 3, g prime, and g double prime. So my answers are as follows. G of 3 is just going to be the integral, g prime is f of 3, and g double prime is f prime of 3. So to make everything dynamic, I want to go ahead and create a slider and label it as x value. Now the minimum and the maximum, my function only goes from negative 3 to 7. So I'm going to change my minimum and maximum accordingly. And to make it look a little bit nicer, I'm going to change it to 0.01. And I want to be able to move this out of the way, so I'm going to right click, unfix it, and then I can go ahead and move it over to the side. Now I want to create a text that has the integral from negative 1 to x. So the first thing I want to do is create an integral function. Now I have my graph defined as f, so I want to integrate f into the input. You start typing in integral, and the third option down is the one you want to select. The function I want to integrate is f. The start value, mine's starting at negative 1, so that's my lower limit. My end value, the upper limit, I want that to be dependent upon my slider, so that's going to be x value. Go ahead and hit enter, and there's your integral. So now as this slides, it integrates from negative 1 to that value. Alright. Now you can double click on the little shading, and you can change how see-through it is, and also change the color, and maybe change the thickness of the lines. Alright, so now I want to create a text box that shows this value. So I go ahead and hit enter text. The nice mathematical LaTeX formula, I want to go ahead and put g of, now I want the x value to change when I move the slider. So I'm going to go to hit objects, and now when I hit that, I have to close the parentheses. That's going to be equal to the integral. In the second option, the integral is kind of like in the middle. A is your lower limit. You want that to be, for me, negative 1. Your upper limit, you want that to be the slider value. So you want that to be the x value that you've chosen. And what you're integrating is f of t dt. And the answer you want it to output, in this case, a is what your integral value is. So you want it to output a. And you go ahead and hit OK. So now when you move this slider, it changes the answer accordingly. Now by default it's kind of small, so you want to right click, go to object properties, make the text a little bit bigger, maybe change the color, and there you go. Now I want to create two more text boxes, one that has g prime. Let's go ahead and go through the same process and just say g of my x value is equal to f of x value. Well, what you want to do for this now, because you want the function to be evaluated at whatever x value you want. So this syntax is, you have to select the function, and then inside of its little box you want to put parentheses x value. Because now what that does inside the little box, the evaluation box, is it evaluates f at the slider's value, and its output is the answer. So now whenever you move this, it gives you the value of the function at that point. Alright, so right click on it, you can change the size of it, you can change the color as well. Last thing is, I want to create the value of g double prime. Well, this deals with f prime, so what I have to do is define f prime. So my input f prime, I'm actually typing out f prime, and that's going to be equal to the derivative of f. And so over here on the side, I have f prime defined. You can go ahead and hide it. You don't really need to use it. You just have to have it defined. And then create another text box that says g double prime. Oops, let me change it to the text so it looks a little nicer. G double prime at the x value is equal to f single prime at the x value. You can also select it by just clicking on where it is on the graph. And then you want that to be the second derivative, so f prime, evaluated at the x value. And you go ahead and hit OK. So now it's going to calculate your f prime as the slope of wherever you're at. So notice now the slope is 1/2. Down over here the slope is 2. Over here the slope is 1. So now it changes accordingly. And again, double click, change the style. Let's make this one that color. Now the last thing is you want to create a box that shows and hides all this. So under the slider menu, the second option is show and hide. I want to call this show part A, and I want to link all the stuff that I've done with this. I want to link the integral, these 3 text boxes with it. I go and hit apply. So now it shows and hides part A accordingly. And that's it.